Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Club Junkie podcast. Hopefully, having a great week. Another Thursday. Weeks are just rolling along, man. I can't believe it's so far into May already. We're getting into halfway through May. June's coming up. It's just why does stuff go by so fast when you're old? It's crazy. I remember being a kid and you're just like waiting for the end of the school year and you're just like dying that last week. And now it's like you don't have enough time to get anything done, before the day is over. So just kind of crazy, but hopefully you're having a good one. Before we get into it today, hey, we're excited to share with you guys exclusive opportunities from Titleist. But to be a part of them, you got to join Team Titleist. Team Titleist gives you access to opportunities like prototype testing, special events, limited edition gear from Titleist, and so much more. Sign up, join us on Team Titleist at teamtitleist.com/Team Titleist. All one word, Team Titleist. So check it out. If you ever wanted to test those prototype Pro V1s that come in the white sleeves that people get with the little questionnaires, you see them on social media all the time. That's Team Titleist. So only way to get those, sign up and get them that way. So anyway, another week. It's a PGA Championship week, and I think even to me, it's still to me weird to say it's PGA Championship week because usually PGA Championship was so late in the year, and I know it's been a while since they changed the schedule, but I don't know. I'm still the PGA Championship being later in the year. So, but it'll be exciting. I know everybody's geeked. I'm recording this before. I know the show comes out Thursday, but I'm recording it before, so nobody's teed off yet. It is it is Wednesday, so for me right now, so nothing is happening yet. But super excited to see what Tiger does. The confidence he had in his interviews that I saw on Tuesday, where they was asked if he was going to win, and he was just like, yeah, I can flat out win, and I expect to. And guys just playing with a ton of confidence, and that's pretty awesome. So it'll be exciting to see what he does here. And he outperformed what I thought he would do at the Masters. So I got to think with another month under his belt of conditioning and healing and all that stuff, practicing, he's going to have a pretty darn good showing this week. And that's a course that he's won at before. So should be exciting. Should be a great PGA Championship. And I'm excited to watch it and see. I know the big question on everybody's mind, is he wearing the FootJoy or Nike shoes? And it looks like the FootJoys have been on his feet so far. That is just a weird thing to me. I don't understand how a company as big as Nike, with all the abilities they have, couldn't get him a shoe. One, before the Masters, because you knew. I mean, he told people he was probably going to play and all that. Like, you didn't start working on that. And now, knowing he played in the Masters in a different shoe, it became a huge news story. And to not have something ready for this tournament is just mind-boggling. I just don't understand how a company like that, who, I know people have said like, oh, with getting stuff overseas and supply chain management, all that stuff, you don't think that they could get him like 5 pairs of shoes spun up in some prototype lab? Like, they don't have that ability? I just don't know if I believe that. So it's crazy to think that guy's still wearing FootJoy shoes after being paid so much money by Nike. But hey, he's wearing what he needs to wear to play his best golf and to keep his body healthy and all that. So more power to him. But it's going to be another one of those little stories where everybody on Thursday is going to get up and see him teeing off and wondering what he's wearing on his feet, and Nike's missing out again. So pretty interesting there. The other cool thing is his 3-iron. Going with, in the bag, we saw a 2 and 3 iron that are different. We saw the TaylorMade P770s in his bag. Took out the P7 TWs. Looking for a little more speed, a little more height, a little more distance out of those irons. And that's what he's getting with the P770s. Paired the 3 iron, at least. I don't know if I've seen the specs yet for the 2 iron. But the 3 iron, the specs were basically P770, 3 iron. No idea how it's bent, if it's bent weak or strong or anything like that. I would think that it might be bent maybe a hair weak. It's like 19.5 degrees stock. But that paired up with the brand new True Temper Dynamic Gold Mid, which was just in the shaft KH Lee had last week in his irons when he won. So basically a Dynamic Gold X100 with a little higher launch to it. I don't know if the weight is much different. I think we got a photo of like the spec sheet, but it was really a small photo and I couldn't read everything in there. But a little higher launching, option there. So what TaylorMade told us was he was looking for something that you know, it could hit a little higher, hit a little longer, but still hit the stinger and all that. And those are all the things you could do with the P770. So that is in the bag for him, at least. I think the 3-iron will definitely stay. 2-iron would be interesting. I would think that the 5-wood would stay. I would think the 2-iron and the 5-wood. I would think the 5-wood just because you would probably hit that higher. And unless it's going to be crazy windy in Tulsa, I mean, I don't see, you know, the advantage of hitting the 2-iron, but, you know, I'm a crappy golfer, so I guess it doesn't matter. But the 3-iron is pretty cool, so I actually took some time, and I actually have a P770 3-iron that I had with my P770s that has never seen a ball. It actually still had the plastic in it sitting up in my like rafters in my basement that is racks for clubs. And I decided, you know what, hey, let's put together a little 3-iron. Now, it's not Tiger's 3-iron because I don't have a True Temper Dynamic Gold mid, a tour issue mid shaft, because I don't know if those are out yet, or if they are, they're very kind of limited right now or very tough to get. So I put one together using a different shaft. And I put one together, this 3-iron here, using a Nippon Modus Tour 105 that I had laying around. And I had a 3-iron shaft from a set of irons that I didn't use the 3-iron for anything, so I put together, put it in a 3-iron. I just got to throw a grip on it. I've actually cut it and everything. I've got it to, just going to play D2 swing weight and all that, and it's just stock. I still have to check the loft and lie after it's built, because sometimes when shafts go in there, they're not necessarily 100% perfect or 100% straight sometimes, so I'll check that, but it is definitely kind of a little guy, man. There's not a whole lot of loft there. When you set it down, there's a little bit of offset, a little bit of a little thicker top line because you see so much of it, but it's been a long time since I've had a 300 in the bag. I'll go hit it. I don't know if I'll actually like play with it in my league or anything like that, but I'm definitely going to bring it and hit, or have it with me either go to the range or maybe this weekend when I play, take it with me and hit a few balls. But the 300 is not something that's been in the bag for, I mean, probably since I was a teenager, and even then it probably shouldn't have been in the bag. But this thing has no reason being in my bag. But it's kind of a cool, fun build, and it was kind of cool that I had a 773 iron laying around. So Tiger and I have something in common, and it is a club that we could potentially put in our bag. The difference is that he can actually hit it, and I probably can't. So, but it was pretty fun to build. It actually came out pretty easy. I had to put, I basically, it had the stock shaft that was in it was just a KBS Tour 120. That was what came in my set when it came. It was just a stock set. And then these here, so I pulled out the Tour 120. Just because for me, I mean, in the 4 and 3 iron, I found that like heavy shafts like that, I don't swing them great. So I've always gone to something a little lighter, and even my 4 iron. A lot of times with my 4 iron, I've had like a Fujikuro Pro 95, or right now I've got I think I've got a Pro 95 in the Mizuno Fly High 4 utility, and then I've got the Tour Edge titanium, the Thai utility 4 iron. I've got that with a KBS PGI 90 as well. So I usually typically go a little lighter weight with my longer clubs there, just because I tend to swing them a little better, and I don't try to swing them as hard. I think when I get into those heavy weights, like I feel like I really have to like pound the ball, or I have to like really hit it, and you don't. So I typically go a little lighter, and I found more success with that route. So like I said, I went the 105 here, and just a 105 stiff. Like I said, I had laying around from a set of irons I built that were 4-through pitching wedge, and I had a 3 iron that Nippon sent me. So I just had it kind of sitting around, and I had a couple of the shafts I was going to use. I had a couple hybrid shafts that were out of some hybrids that I was going to think about using as well. And then I said, you know what, this 105 is perfect. It's kind of like, that mid to slightly mid-high launch, a little lighter weight, and it should be good in a 3 iron. It should be perfect. So I just got to throw a grip on there. It's already cut to the 39-inch length. Like I said, just stock loft and lie, so it should be like 19.5 degrees. And then what is the lie in this thing? So 60.5. So that's pretty much what it should be. And yeah, I'll probably get this bad boy gripped up, and like I said, I'll take it out and hit it. I don't think it's going to make it to league. If I was going to put a 3 iron in the bag, I actually have the Titleist U505 3 iron. That is definitely bigger, easier to launch. And if I was going to put a 3 iron in the bag, I'd probably put that in the bag, just because it's a little bit easier to hit, a little longer probably than this is be. This is probably still a cannon. I mean, it's probably still going to be pretty darn low spin. The face on the 770s is super hot, so I mean, it's definitely something that that is probably going to be if I could hit it in the center and get it out there, probably go a long way. I just don't know if that's possible to do. So built this up for the most part. If you're watching on YouTube, you can kind of see that I have a gripless shaft here, but it will have a grip here tomorrow or maybe even later tonight when I'm done recording. We'll see if I got time. I'll pop it in there. But yeah, a little P770 Tiger 3-iron to start off the day. It was kind of funny. I pulled it off the rafters. I think I made a little video reshafting it, but actually pulled the plastic off because it was still wrapped. I've never seen a ball anything, so it's pretty cool. But you know, and like I said, I don't know. I can't even say like here. It's like, oh, it'll be so windy one day or whatever. I'll use it. That doesn't come into play here. And honestly, I don't think the low percentage chances that I've had it would have of hitting really great shots with it overcome the lower launch, you know, or the lower ball flight that would keep it under the wind. I don't think that would actually come out to my advantage. So I think I'd still come away with worse shots than than I would actually have. But you know, like I said, it was fun to build, and it's kind of cool to see, you know, Tiger playing something different. So we'll see. We'll see Thursday what goes in Tiger's bag, and we'll see if this ever makes it into mine, which I highly doubt it will. But at least I'll go out and hit it, you know, on the range, or you know, maybe I'll throw it in the bag as the 15th club, and you know, if there's a little time that we're waiting on a group or something like that, I'll maybe tee up a ball or something like that and hit it. So it's definitely something that will be fun and interesting to hit. So yeah, I've got that going, and then I built up a couple other little pieces to mess around with, to go to the I don't want to say to go to the league with, to try out. I've got a couple other pieces that are going in the bag, so you know, let's break down a couple other pieces that I've been tinkering with. Yeah, so the next piece I've kind of been messing with, and I think I don't know if I talked about it last week, you know, when I was talking about kind of what's in the bag, because I think I built it up. Well, I built it up a while ago, and then I brought it to the league last week, and I never hit it. I was going to hit it on the 17th hole, which was 8 for us. We played the back 9 last week, and I'll get into my round later, I guess after these couple pieces. But anyway, I think I brought it last week, went to play it, and then I never had to hit it. The way either the way the wind was blowing, I could have hit it on 17, and I could have also hit it on 18, but I just didn't. I didn't need to, or didn't want to. So I kind of had it in the bag and never touched it. But I put together I put it together a while ago. So I know I've mentioned that I've built it. I just don't know if I've talked about hitting it yet. But I'm going with the Cobra King LTD Max Head. So yes, the Max Head. And reason being is just looking for something that launches a little higher. But going with the Max Head and put in a Graphite Design Tour AD IZ 7X. So the IZ, as you know, is kind of the high launch, low spin. Kind of I wouldn't say updated version of the DI, but I think it's got a little stiffer handle section in it. I haven't found a ton of success with this shaft, is the funny part. I've found more success with it in a 3-wood than I had the driver. I put it in driver originally and just never hit it well. I always thought it didn't feel quite as good as the DI, but either way. But like I said, looking for something that launches a little higher. And then like the Max Head, which is in the Peacoat Blue, which is a really darn good color. Cobra killed it with the color. But I've left the weights in the neutral setting. So this thing here, when you look at it, it does have weights on the sole that you could go either neutral or draw. I've left these ones in the neutral setting. So 12 grams in the back and 3 grams down near the heel. And then, you know, set this thing. So it's a 15.5 degree head, which is nice because I'm like, all right, looking for a little more loft. But I also don't, well, at 15.5, I don't want to say it looks shut, but it looks very square to maybe leaning on the side of looking to the left just a touch. So I've basically set it minus a degree, so it's 14.5. So I figure high launch head, 14.5 degrees, higher launching shaft, should be pretty good. I hit it on the range a handful of times before the season started up, and it actually was super easy to get in the air. So my theory behind it, like I said, put a little higher launching shaft in it, a little higher launching head, and hopefully it should be pretty darn forgiving as well, having that heavy weight in the back. I should be good. I should be able to hit some really good shots of this thing. And like I said, I was hoping to hit it last week and didn't. The only thing that's interesting in it is it does, just looking at it, look a little upright in terms of the I mean, it just looks upright. I don't know that it actually is. But like I said, I went into it last week fully expecting to hit it, but I just, like I said, didn't really have a reason to at the time. I mean, the par 5, again, hit a very solid drive that went right, and I actually had to look at the green, and I had hybrid distance in. So, like I said, just didn't really need to hit 3-wood there, other than, like I said, I could hit it on the tee on 17, could hit on the tee on 18, and just didn't need to. So yeah, it pretty much just stayed in the bag. But it's a pretty cool build. I'm excited to hit it. Like I said, who knows how my theory will work out. Like I said, the IZ and I have had kind of a little bit of a love-hate relationship. So we'll see how it works out. But the head is, like I said, I think really good, and being able to, even set it down a little bit so the face looks open when at address is pretty cool. And like I said, I like the color, all that. The shape is definitely round. If you're somebody, depending on what you like in terms of look, it is definitely a round, more of a round shape. It's not as kind of, I don't call it pear traditional as some other, but it's not. It definitely has a little more roundness to it. But again, like I said, should be pretty forgiving and should be pretty decent to hit. So we'll see. This week we play the front 9. I should hit it probably on 1, possibly 2, depending on the wind. And then I'll probably hit it on 5. And then maybe 9. We'll see, depending on what I'm hitting. But I should have a few more shots with that. But it's a pretty cool build. It's short. It's like 42 and a half inches long, so it's a little short. And then I think it swing weights out at like D2. I didn't add any weight to it. I'd have to actually check. It actually might swing out a touch light. Yeah, I mean, it does feel a little light. It might be a little under. But I'm not going to commit a bunch of hot melt to it unless it's something that I really want to play. So right now it's going to stay as is, and if it's a little light, I'll measure here after I'm done, and maybe if it needs a little hot melt, I will order me a little lead tape to get it close. Maybe I'll do that. But excited to hit that thing. I think, like I said, I'm still in the 3-wood search. If I had to go play for like something serious that actually meant something, I'd probably still play my Sim 2 Max with the Speeder NX. I mean, I think that's from last year. I mean, it's still probably the 3-wood I have the most confidence in. I mean, I did take out a couple weeks ago the Rogue ST Max with a Ventus Red. And I hit that on the first tee. I absolutely nuked it, and then I hit it again. I had 2 decent shots with it. So I mean, it's pretty darn close. It's pretty good. But yeah, right now I'm still kind of struggling to find a 3-wood. And I know some people asked about the Sim and or Sim. I mean, Stealth or Stealth Plus. And I hit those really well at the Kingdom. I just don't have the heads, so I don't have them here to hit. If I did, I would say that Sim, or the Stealth. I mean, I think the regular Stealth or Stealth Plus would probably be close to first place. Again, you don't know. I mean, you can hit on the range. They're great. When you get them on the course, who knows? So, those probably would be contending as well if I had the heads. I just don't have the heads. But I did hit them, out at the Kingdom end of last year, and they are absolutely phenomenal. So my next build after the Cobra there is going to be, it really wasn't a build. It's just something I kind of tweaked a little bit. And again, it's something I played I think the first week? I don't know. It's something like that. I played it out there a little bit. And it's that the Tour Edge, that C722 hybrid. So I've been kind of tossing around different hybrids in the bag, and I think I played this thing. And again, I don't remember I talked about it then, but I played with it at least a couple weeks ago. Maybe, I don't know, we're on like our 5th week. So I might have played it the first week. I don't remember. But the new exotic, the C722. So they've got technically 3 hybrids if you count the utility iron. But the C722 is more like the player's iron. It's got an adjustable hosel on it. And then the E722 is a little more of the forgiving, higher launching, easier to hit. And this thing here, basically built for players who don't love hybrids. It's built to be swung like an iron. It's kind of the face of it is kind of boxy and squared off like an iron is. But it's built for guys who swing, who want to swing like an iron and, but have the distance and, a little bit of height that a hybrid offers it. I took it out, like I said, one of the weeks. I don't remember what. We were playing the front 9, and I hit it on, I think, like 2, 3, 9. I hit it a couple different holes, at least like 4 times on the course. And the one thing that surprised me is at least one of them I hit. I can't remember which shot it was. It was the ninth hole. I kind of did hit. I hit it decently off the toe, and you would think from such a small hybrid. I mean, it's pretty compact. It's pretty slim. Hitting it off the toe, I thought I was pretty much dead. I thought like the ninth hole has a bunch of bunkers that run on the right side, and I was like, well, I'm going to be in one of those because I basically kind of slapped it off the toe. It was just kind of hung right, and like I said, figured I'd be in one of those bunkers, and we'll try to have to make par from there, and cleared the bunkers just in the rough on the right. So it was actually pretty nice. I was, not as, it wasn't the farthest down as I've ever been, but in terms of having some forgiveness with this thing, it does have some. It's pretty good. It's a little flatter ball flight in terms of, the ball gets up in the air quick, but it doesn't have like a super high arcing apex. It's pretty boring ball flight. But it's got a good metallic sound to it. It just tings when you hit it. And the other nice thing, it's got an adjustable hosel. So they make, the 3, which is like 19. This is the 4, which is 21. And then they make I think they make a 2, 3, 4. With this, they might make a 5. But anyway, I guess I should, as I'm sitting here talking, I should probably pull it up so I can let you know what they make in it. But a really good hybrid. Like I said, if I gave it one knock, it has almost the visual of a touch of offset to it. It almost looks that way, which it's not bad. And once you hit it, it's like it makes really no difference when you set it down. So this thing here, they've got basically a 17, 19, 21, and 23. So yeah, so you've got a 2, 3, 4, and 5 hybrids. So I basically went with a 4 because I play usually a 20 degree, and I figured if I went with the 4, I could open up the face a little bit and play it as a 20. And that's basically how I set it. I set it 1 degree low, so it should be able to play as a 20. The thing sits just a hair open, and it really is easy to hit, man. It's just got the stock Ventus Blue in it, which is a non-velo core Ventus Blue. I was going to put I've got an HB that I was gonna put in here, and I just didn't do it yet, just because I didn't know am I gonna like it that much. So I didn't put it in there yet. But so far I've hit it really well. I haven't hit it much off the turf. Everything pretty much has been off the tee. So we'll see maybe this week if I play the par 5 and actually hit a decent drive and get it out there, maybe I'll be able to hit this off the turf and test it there. But off the tee, it works really well, and it's got a pretty deep face on it. So if you're somebody who does like hitting your hybrids off the tee on short par 4s and things like that, this thing definitely has a deeper face, which to me gives me a little confidence that if I hit it a little low in the face or get a little steep, hit a little high, I've got some real estate there that I can get away with that shot. As opposed to like say a Ping G425 that's extremely shallow, and to me I always feel like I'm gonna basically put a sky mark on it. But this thing's been really good. Distance is really solid. I mean, when you hit its square, it really goes. The hole that I kind of measure a lot of my distance on is when I hit it on hole 3 at the old St. Clair Shores, because you basically got to hit a shot like if you hit it anywhere from 200 to 220, you're fine. And you just kind of want to hit it down the left side, and then you have a good angle into the green. And basically, if I have anything at like 100 yards or less, you pretty much, I've hit a pretty good hybrid up there. And that one there, again, I don't think I hit an amazing shot. I kind of like low-heeled a little bit. Got right up there, and I think I had like 108 in or something like that. And I was like, I heeled it. I'm on the left side of the fairway where I need to be, and I've got like 108 or something like that in instead of 98. Which, you know what? I'm okay with that. Like if that's gonna be a bad miss for that club, no problem. So those all there. Like I said, the P770 is probably not going in the bag. The other two will be in the bag tomorrow for league night. So the rest of my what's in the bag for the league, I'm gonna switch it up a little bit. I've been kind of trying to rotate everything through. Last week I had the Rogue ST Max LS in there with the UST Link Purple, and I hit some really good drives actually. I hit some decent drives. I absolutely mashed one on 16, which I think it was the tees were, I wouldn't say all the way back, but they were on like the last tee box. Which is kind of normal where they've been putting them lately. But there, and I hit a great drive and had like 122 in, and I think it was a little into the wind, but absolutely mashed one there. I hit a drive that was extremely long on the par 5, but I kind of flared it to the right, and there's a creek that runs on the right, and I actually hit it over the creek, which was actually okay. And I had a hybrid that I hit an okay higher. I kind of choked down on my I had the Callaway the Apex UW out there, choked down on that. I have the 19 degree, choked down on that, hit it, rolled it basically rolled up right onto the front of the green, and then I chipped it like a total idiot and ended up making bogey on the hole. So I was there in two, made bogey, and it was all the wedges' fault, which they've been pretty much. The wedges have been a struggle all year, so that was that. But that club there I hit really well, and then I was debating. I was debating whether to put. I was going to go stealth again, or stealth plus with Ventus TR, or I'm actually gonna, which I'm gonna go with. I think I've got it sitting in the bag right now over here. Titleist TSI 3 with a Miyazaki White 61X, which, yes, the old Miyazaki's, but it's a kind of a really high launching shaft that I hit in. I don't know how I came across the shaft. It was like sitting at the office or something like that. It just kind of fell into my lap, and it's an old Miyazaki White 61X, and I think it's the white, and it's and I've got it in the TSI 3 head, which is 9 degrees, set at B1, so it's a little flat. But I want to see if it is which one it is. Like I said, I think it was a Miyazaki. I think it was a white. I don't think it's the indigo. I think it's the white. Yeah, the Kasala white. Yep. So the Miyazaki Kasala white. So I've got that in there, which I tell you what is probably one of the smoothest shafts that you can really hit. But I've got that thing in there in that 9 degree head, set at B1, so just 9 degrees, and we'll see how that works. I know I've messed around with that head, and I know I need a 10 and a half degree head, but want to give it some love, and like I said, it's either that or maybe at last second I put my Stealth Plus with the Ventus TR in there. So we'll see. It'll be one of those kind of play by ears. So I'm going to go that and driver, Cobra LTDX Max, 3-wood with the IZ, and then for hybrid, I think I'm probably not going to go with a 3-iron as much as I kind of should, just because Tiger's playing it. I just don't, and really I'd put in there. I don't know where I'd hit it, to be honest. Or on tomorrow when I'm playing the front, I'm going to hit a hybrid a lot. So bringing that 3-iron, that's potentially just disaster. I just don't know if it's worth bringing in there, but we'll see. It'll probably be the Tour Edge C722. If for some reason I feel Tiger-esque and want to roll with the 3-iron, it might go, but I highly doubt it. And then basically I'm going to play 4-iron. It'll be the probably Mizuno Fly High. It's in the bag right now. So I have the Mizuno Fly High 4 with a Fujikura Pro 95 in it, and then P770 5 through 9-iron will go in the bag with the KBS Tour lights that I should basically, probably next week I'll talk about, with the Tour lights in there. And those have been really good. I've actually just hit those irons better than I've hit the PXGs. And a buddy of mine texted me today asking me about the PXGs. And I actually brought him into the office and letting another guy play with them for a few weeks. So I'm just hitting the P770s better. The P770s are a little bit longer. Especially on some of the mishits, I tend to get a little more out of them. Height-wise, the PXGs probably fly a little higher. The P770s still fly high, but the PXGs probably go a little. But the P770 is probably just a little bit longer. And I honestly am just a little more consistent with them at the moment. I don't have a real reason why. I've just been hitting them better, and they are just, like I said, a touch longer, especially in the short irons. I found like pitching wedge, 9-iron, 8-iron. I tend to get a little more out of the 770s, and it's maybe they just spin a little less, but I'm tending to get a little more out of those. But I'm and even if they're spinning less, I'm still stopping them on the greens, and they're fine. Like I'm not having to worry about a ton of release on these things. So that there, and then I'm going mill grind 3, pitching wedge, the mill grind 3 46 degree pitching wedge, mill grind 3 50 gap wedge, and then I'm gonna go SM9 jet black 5412 D grind. And then I'm going to go the PXG 58, or the Sugar Daddy 2 58 BP grind there, which, so we're a little close to the 54-58. I kind of wish nowadays now, like after hitting, I kind of wish I would have got the 60 instead of the 58. But I don't really want to bend it to 60 and have 15 degrees of bounce in a 60 degree. But I'm gonna go with that there and play it, and then we'll see. And then putter wise, I think I'm going with the Bettinardi. So going with the Bettinardi, the BBW 8 wide with the Fujikura MC 115 firm. And that'll be what I roll with. So I've been playing, like I said, those irons, and then hopefully I'm gonna put the either T100 or T100S's in next week. I'm gonna grab those and see how those stack up to what I've been playing. It'll be interesting going from distance iron to totally not distance iron, unless I do the 100S. We'll see, but yeah, it'll be interesting kind of hitting those. But that's the bag for this week. Right now, like I said, two only changes could be possibly hybrid, maybe driver, could be last minute things, but we'll see. And then last week was a little bit of a rough go. I just did not hit wedges well. I hit everything up into the wedge. I got the ball around the green great. I just could not chip to save my life. I don't know what it was. All my chip and pitch shots were just absolute garbage. Like I explained on the par 5, I was basically 10 feet off the green in two shots, and then just absolutely chunked a wedge, and then had to chip back on to. I mean, it was just like brutal. I did the same thing on 16. I had, like I said, 16. I pounded a drive. I had like 122 to the green. Did I hit pitching wedge? I hit pitching wedge and just absolutely just yanked it left. I was short left there, and then thought I actually hit a pretty good wedge shot from, it's kind of a raised green, and I was kind of on the uphill, and I thought I hit actually a really good wedge shot, and it just went a little far. It kind of sailed on me, and ended up two-putting, making bogey there. So yeah, I mean, it was just one of those things where I just did not hit wedges well at all. So I hit a couple decent bunker shots, but other than that, the wedges were a real disaster. So I think I shot 41. It was either or 40. I don't know, it was 40 41. I don't remember. But either way, I got off the tee really well. I just did not. The only hole I didn't get off the tee well was 17. And I came off, I was kind of, mad at 16 and got up to 17. I should have hit 3-wood. I usually always do hit 3-wood or hybrid depending on the wind, and I didn't. So I went and rocked driver, and I just tried to swing too hard. Came over the top, smothered it, hit it left. Trees knocked it down. I had what did I have? I had 150 off of literally a patch of dirt. There was no grass. It was hard pan dirt, and I had 150 in or something like that. And I think I just kind of thinned a 9-iron or something like that, and it got came up. It barely made it on the green. I had I can't remember how long of a putt. It was just a nightmare of a hole. So I bogeyed there. Just didn't, like I said, short game just didn't do well. Off the tee I was really good. Like I said, other than one hole, which was 17, I hit it off the tee well. Whether it was driver, whether it was hybrid, whatever, hit it really well. So that I can't complain about. But I just didn't play amazing. So it was a good night though. It was perfect weather. It was warm out. I'm hoping this week is supposed to be the same thing. It's supposed to be mid 70s. So hopefully another good day out there in the course to play. And then I guess I'll jump into kind of my one thing. I've got a handful of stuff that I need to review. I haven't got enough time with it to do that yet. So I think today was, messing around with some of my tinkering stuff, was great. And then the one thing I will talk about today that I know is probably not the most exciting to a lot of you, but it's become more exciting to me now that the older I get, and it is golf shoes. And I don't get to test a ton of golf shoes. I mean, there's not just stuff that's not sent in a ton. And if they are, they usually send them in tiny sizes for photos. So 9s. They usually send in size 9s. I'm an 11 typically, 11 to 11 and a half depending on the shoe. A lot of times they send in 9s just to get photos. So those get, moved on to someone else. But our good buddies over at Strixon, who now also distribute Asics, have been sending size 11s in, which is awesome because I get to go out and wear them. And I think last year I talked about when I went to Bandon's, I had the Ace that they had out there, the Gel Ace. which I absolutely loved, and I don't think I would have gotten through walking 36 a day at Bandon without these, because they were just about as comfortable as you could get, and I really loved them. And then this year, they have come out with a new version, or not a new version, a new shoe. And if you're familiar with Asics shoes, the Kayano, which was basically their top-of-the-line running shoe, and it's still, I believe, going strong. I used to work at the shop I used to work at. I used to do some running shoes, and they sold Kayanos by like the caseload. It was unbelievable. But they do a Gel-Kayano Ace, which is the golf version, and it's actually a pretty darn... It's the most comfortable golf shoe I've ever worn. Flat out. The thing is, in terms of look, some people are going to love it, some people are going to hate it. I know it's got that kind of running shoe kind of look. The top part of it is all kind of I don't want to call it plastic, because it's not necessarily plastic, but it's basically a kind of TPU material. It's basically a waterproof, flexible, material, but it's supposed to also be breathable and all that. It definitely is waterproof. I mean, if you're watching this on YouTube, you can kind of see they got a little dirt on them, and that is because I have been wearing them. But I have been rocking these, and these one up the Ace. So the Gel-Kayano Ace take on last year's Ace, and they are definitely more comfortable. The footbed, the footbed, especially in the toe box area, is a little bit wider. It's a little bit roomier than last year's model. So in terms of overall fit, you do have a little space there. The cushioning just seems a hair softer than last year, than the Ace, which I keep saying last year. I think it's still being made right now. I think you can still buy it. But this thing here, I mean, just extremely comfortable. It seems to be like a touch wider in terms of the actual footbed, which it actually is like a little bit wider. But it definitely has a really stable feel to it. It's not the lowest shoe in the world in terms of like how low it is to the ground. You do stand up a little bit with it. It's got some extra padding there, but in true Asics fashion, ton of support, super stable, and the cushioning on it is phenomenal. If I was to go to Bandon now, I would take these in an absolute heartbeat. I'd probably get the white pair, and I think there's two white pairs. I think there's a white, and then there's like a white and like neon green or something like that. There's like a white and gray. There's just a white and gray, a white and navy, and like a white and neon green. I would probably take all of those there and play them, because these things, like I said, I've been walking 9 in the league. I've played in the cart, but they're really, really comfortable. And I know shoes, you could say anything is the most comfortable shoe in the world, and one person's going to put it on and love it. The next person's going to put it on and possibly hate it just because of the way it's shaped and all that. Totally get it. So for me, absolutely love them. They're definitely lighter weight too when you hold them up next to the Ace. Last year's Ace, these things feel just a little bit lighter. The other thing too is that the traction is really good on them. So it's got a similar pattern on the bottom to last year's shoe. When you look at it, I mean, both are spikeless, but they got much bigger lugs, and they're more spaced out on the Kayano. So they definitely have a little more spacing to them, and I feel like in the bunker these actually grip a little bit better than the previous Ace did. But these things here, they don't really leave much of a mark on the green. When you go up there and you walk on the green, even when it's kind of wet out and soft, they don't leave a ton of marks, which is nice. But yeah, the whole flight foam sole and all the tech they pile into these things, they're, like I said, extremely, extremely comfortable. If you're somebody who walks and likes to walk a lot, I think these things are definitely worth trying on for sure. They definitely are. Like I said, extremely comfortable. You walk in them, it's like walking in a pair of running shoes. Like, it really is. And like I said, the sole on these things, for some guys, like I know, like my dad is kind of an anti spikeless guy because he thinks you slip a lot. I've played in these in the early spring here in Michigan, where it's been extremely wet, and I have not slipped or felt like I've been slipping or anything even once. These things, like I said, are really comfortable. I mean, they just, as soon as you put them on, there was no break-in. You just put them on. I think I put them on, went out and walked 9 in my league, and then I played another 18 with them, and then, did I walk 9 on them last week? No, I did different pair of shoes last week, but, so I played at least 27, if not 36 on these things, and just crazy comfortable. So, super impressed with this shoe. It is waterproof. I don't know if it's like a 2-year thing or what, but it is a waterproof shoe that, it doesn't necessarily say. Doesn't say on the website, but definitely a waterproof shoe. Like I said, I played with it early spring. It was definitely wet out, and my feet were totally dry. Breathability wise, it's hard to say because I haven't played in it like really hot yet. I'll probably play with them today, which it should be warmer out. I know the Ace could get a little warm. The previous Ace did get a little warm from last year. The material up top that was waterproof, it looked mesh, but it definitely didn't breathe as well as I thought it was, and it was get a little hot. So we'll see how this one goes. It doesn't. I haven't noticed it being anything warm yet, but again, I haven't played with it in super hot conditions. But like I said, the only knock I'd give to it, I wish it was a little lower to the ground. I wish it was a little lower to the ground, just for that feel. But other than that, everything about it I've really liked. Like I said, in terms of comfort, I kind of wish I had these going into Bandon last year because they were, like I said, crazy comfortable. So if you're looking for a shoe that you can walk a ton in and have a great traction, all that, Asics Gel-Kayano Ace is it's tough to beat. And I know, like I said, in terms of the look of it, I know some people are going to love it, some people are going to hate it. I know it's a little bit more of a sport shoe, and that's totally fine, whatever. But as I get older, I realize that comfort is kind of the thing I'm more concerned with than my style. I mean, I'm a 41-year-old guy who's married and got a kid, and style is not necessarily something that's as high on my priority list anymore as it was when I was maybe single and 20 and whatever. But nowadays, kind of go for comfort and performance, and this thing definitely does it. So, big fan of this shoe. It's been really comforted. It's definitely going to be in kind of my rotation, all throughout the year. So, it's a really great shoe. But anyway, I think that's all I've got. If you want to, you got any questions, any comments, anything like that, hit me up on Instagram at Club Junkie Pod. I'm going to try to do my Q&A. I know I forgot about last week. I'm definitely going to get to it this week. And then also, if you watch these things on YouTube, really appreciate that. I know it's a guy sitting here doing a podcast, but hey, if you could, like, subscribe, all that stuff, it really helps us out and, helps us get distributed a little bit better. But anyway, that's all I've got today. The other thing, too, is did anybody see if you saw my stamping video on Golf WRX, the main Instagram account, was that stamping that bad? Like, I knew it wasn't perfect, but man, did I get blasted for that. I got said like a 5-year-old could do better. Somebody said it looked like ass. I didn't think it looked that bad. So, it was a 5-minute video. It took me 5 minutes to do. I threw the thing in the my Ricky Johnson Ricky Johnson putter wedge anvil, slapped it in there, knocked it out, threw my paint fill in. It took me 5 minutes to do, and I'm getting like blasted on that thing. It was pretty interesting. It got a ton of views, so I appreciate all the views. And there were a lot of people who said it was awesome, which is cool, but I didn't think it was that bad. And I guess maybe I'm wrong. Maybe my stamping is very, very subpar. But I'm no Aaron Dill, but hey man, I'm trying. So anyway, again, if you want to hit me up at Club Junkie Pod on Instagram, if you've got any questions, comments, anything like that, hit me up. And thanks for listening, man. We'll talk next week.